shop today. Hey, I wanted to show you our new super cool MUD system here. This is the MUDSYS41. That's a part number. What this is a really cool overhead piece. Fits lots of vehicles. We're going to go through some of its features today and kind of show you around this piece, and then we're going to go ahead and install it on this beautiful Maverick RS 2015 model. It's going to be a fun day. Alright, like I mentioned before, this is the MUD System 41 or SYS41. I want to go over some of the really cool features of this thing. This is an awesome piece. You've got a built-in head unit, amplification, you have Bluetooth, you have aux in, aux out, so you can go to a separate amplifier. It's completely waterproof, dustproof. When you get done riding, you can just hose this thing off. It's also got a 3.5mm aux in if you just want to throw an old MP3 player up in the storage pocket and roll out on those trails. Alright, the MTX MUDSYS41 also comes with all the wiring included. You've obviously got your big wire harness, you've got RCA out, 3.5mm input, USB charging port, as well as your antenna for your AM/FM. Alright, one of the cool features I want to show you about this is this built-in head unit. We're talking AM/FM, Bluetooth, aux in, aux out, really simple to use, nice big labeled buttons which are really helpful when your eyeballs are vibrating from riding down the trail. Built-in dome light, this will always be on, so if you have to stop and read a map and the machine's not on, once this thing is wired you can still use this light. Alright, let's talk about the enclosure a little bit on this system. Now this is a sealed system, so you're going to be able to spray your machine down after washing or blow it off or whatever you need to do. It's got 4 speakers, or you can tell your buddies 8 if you want to count them as coaxes, which would technically be 2 speakers. Sealed end cap, sealed on the bottom, sealed wiring output. You're going to be good to go. Grills protecting the woofers, shouldn't have any issues. I want to show you one more really cool feature. Besides all the cool features you saw in the front of this with the radio and the 4 or 8 speakers depending on what story you're telling that day, this is what makes this piece universal. This allows you 6 inches of adjustment to fit whatever kind of vehicle you're going to install this on. Now you've got some swivel this way, you've got in and out, both sides do it, so it gives you lots of adjustments. Alright, this MUD system comes with everything you need to install it. Fuse holder, ring terminals, fuses, about 3 meters of wire, some rubber inserts for your clamps. Make sure you get a real tight bond on there. We're going to go ahead and install this on our beautiful Maverick over here. We'll let you see just how simple it is. Alright, we got our MUD system clamped in here nice and tight, centered on the vehicle. Well, if you remember earlier we were talking about all the wires that come out of the sides of this thing. You got your power and ground and ignition or switch, however you want to wire it up, plus all your 3.5 out, your RCA ends, USB charging, etc. Listen, we got to get these wires right here to the battery. We could do it a couple of different ways. We could run along the rear of the roll cage, which would be simple, down and dirty, but I don't want to do that. I think I want to make it look a little nicer. So I think what we're going to do is chase this front tube down a little bit here and run them underneath the vehicles and terminate at the rear battery. That way I think we'll have a nicer, cleaner install and it won't get in the way of any other accessories that end up going on this machine in the future. Alright, we've gone ahead and removed the cover for easier access to our battery. As you can see, we went ahead and protected all the wires with some wire loom. We've got our termination rings on our ground and our fuse holder here. Now these come with the kit. Now here's the deal. Fuse holder. I know that a coat hanger will conduct electricity, but don't do it. Don't wrap the positive around the terminal. Use your fuse holder, any accessory, not just ours. lights, anything. Do it. You don't want this thing burning to the ground if you get in some sort of wreck. So now I'm going to go ahead and wire this to the battery, and you'll notice the fuse is out at this point. We're not going to put that in until we're ready to test the system. Okay, if you remember when we hooked up the battery, there were only 2 wires, but when we started this thing, there were 3 wires. Well, one of them is the ignition and or switch, if you wanted to put a switch in the dashboard. But in this case, we're going to use the ignition of the vehicle. I've gone ahead and found an ignition source for this, and now our next step is to attach it. Now you can use a couple of different things to attach it. You can use a T-tap or a butt connector. That's what these little connectors are. These all work, they're all well and good, but out in the elements, I'd suggest you solder it and then either heat shrink it or tape it. We're going to go ahead and get that done right now. In this particular vehicle, we went ahead and chased down the ignition. As you can see right here, we've got it pinned to our multimeter. Now, 2 obvious places you can look is the fuse box and the ignition switch itself. If you have access to a voltmeter, go ahead and ground one end, put it on 12 volts DC, turn your key, and you will see it will indicate the numbers are there when the key is on, and they'll shut off when the key is turned off. So you know you have an ignition source. As you can see, it's a nice backlit piece. So you're going to be able to see it at night on the trail, in dust, everything else. Nice big buttons, easy to use with a glove. We're going to go through the modes real quick. So here's auxiliary. This is going to allow you to plug any source you want into it, any MP3 player, a phone, your buddy's phone, whatever you want to do. You'll be able to control your volume through here. You've got play and pause, mute as well. Next mode is FM. We all know how FM works. There's 2 FM bands and an AM band shared through the band button here, automatic station programming. This is the seek buttons, and of course your volume. Now again, if you want to start to have a conversation with your friend or whatever, you can just hold this down and mute it. It's real simple. And we're going to go back to Bluetooth, and I'm going to show you how to connect to this. Alright, I want to take a second here and go through probably our most popular connection point, which is the Bluetooth, obviously. So that way you can put your phone away, keep it out of harm's way. And these things are expensive and you need them for everything. So let's keep that out of harm's way and let's get you connected. So you get it into Bluetooth mode again. That is going to be done through your mode button. So you're going to press and hold your mode button till it says pair. Press it again real quick. Let go and it's going to say pairing. So now it's going to find your phone, you're connected, you're ready to hit the trail.